Let's go live on Zoom. I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna pause that and we can get started. Just give me 30 seconds. Yeah, every time I do a webinar, for some reason it changes to German, on YouTube. So
German?
yeah, every time. Okay, guys, sorry for keeping you waiting, but okay, here it is. We're done. So let me start sharing myself, and we can start.
Oh wait, there's another John Tilley. So someone logged in on my link. Just so you know.
That's what I was saying. The two John Tilleys around. But there you
go. Okay. Sure. I think you joined from.
Can the real John Tilley please stand up?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so we can do it like that. I mean, it's first time, but doesn't matter. You both can speak, so that's good.
You better be fucking good, bro.
Okay, guys, are ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is our first webinar of the year. Now, last month we had the unsexy webinar, which turned to be very sexy. So if this one is the sexy one, I have no idea what we're going to be doing. So, but obviously ChatGPT has been like a big trend recently, and it was coincidence. But after I did my last webinar, John, who is a close partner of mine, told me, "Okay, Nick, this is what we released: ChatGPT listing, tool that we can do your listing on Amazon in 1 minute." So he's gonna cover this topic. Then AI is also a very hot topic. Rael are doing some AI Kfir from Attribution Insights as well. And then at the end, we're gonna have the unsexy topics. Marketplace Distri, which is a one-stop shop solution for expansion to Europe. And I'll be at the end because, sexy guys at the front, unsexy at the end. But all relevant topics for e-commerce sellers. So just to introduce the speakers today, John Tilley, founder of ZonGuru, Kfir, co-founder of Attribution Insights, Stef van Boekel, CEO of Marketplace Distri, Rael Cline, CEO of Nozzle, and I'll be your host today. I'm Nick Penev, partnership manager at hellotax and co-founder of Extreme Power Brands. So I'll give a quick shout out to our sponsors today. The gold sponsor today is Link My Books, another close partner of mine. They do automated and accurate accounting for software for sellers who are selling on Amazon, Shopify, eBay, Etsy, and they're integrated with Xero and QuickBooks. They're trusted by 20,000 sellers. They have a giveaway. They're giving 10 packages, 50% off for the 3 months with my coupon NICK50. We're going to send you an email after the event so you can actually claim that. And the second sponsor is Extreme Power Brands. That's my company, partnership as a service agency. We have a network of 1,000 companies as partners. 4 of those guys are here today. And what we do, we help companies who are e-commerce service providers to grow through partnerships. And every month when we do a webinar, we do one free audit. We're going to tell if you suck at partnerships or if you're like the best one. So you can claim it after the event, but only for e-commerce service providers. So let's start today. Here are the topics. Now, first, John is going to talk about ZonGuru and what ZonGuru plus ChatGPT are doing right now. How to get a powerful Amazon listing in less than 1 minute. So that's crazy, but this is how it is right now. Then Kfir is going to talk about external traffic to Amazon, which is a very hot topic right now. How to improve your ranking and to get results from your external traffic campaigns. After that, Rael, who is the founder of Nozzle, he's going to talk about why customer lifetime value is crucial to your Amazon business. That's actually crucial for any e-commerce business, but more than ever for Amazon. And this is a quote from a partner of mine. Every agency loves Nozzle. So he's going to tell why this is the case. That's not my saying, somebody told me that. And then Stef is going to talk about their solution, how not to sell your business. Obviously, multiples are down, and how they can help you to scale with them, because they have probably the sexiest solution for expansion to Europe. You go to them and you forget everybody. And the good thing is they're using hellotax for the VAT. So we're even partners in disguise. But at the end, I'm going to tell you what we do at hellotax, how we help sellers as well, and how we recommend to get outreach to 450 clients in Europe. So, and then we're going to have a Q&A session. If for some reason you need to leave, don't worry, we're streaming live on YouTube. We're going to send the recording tomorrow, and you'll be able to rewatch the different sessions eventually. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat. We're going to answer them later on. If you like us, tell us. If you don't say anything. So let's start. I mean, John, it's your turn. Tell us about, ChatGPT, what you guys have built, and I mean, just tell us the story. I mean,
all right, yeah.
It.
So by the way, as all good entrepreneurs know, it's the unsexy shit that makes all the money, right? So
exactly.
Yeah. So just caveating that. Yeah, look, I can present a couple of slides. I'll take 10 minutes and I'll maybe give a little bit of background of ZonGuru, who we are, and then at the end of it, I'll jump in and actually show you the listing ChatGPT integration and literally what it does in under a minute. So let me share my screen and we'll jam through this. And by the way, hopefully the ChatGPT works in sometimes on Zoom. It takes a little longer, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, great. All right, so look, I think the important thing here is ChatGPT was launched in. We'll get into ChatGPT in a second. Let me just talk about ZonGuru. If you don't know who we are, a couple of seconds. We're an operational tool set for brands that sell on Amazon. We help you scale through data insights automation. We have over 17 different tools. We've been around since 2016. We're connected to North America, Europe, India, and Australia as marketplaces. And those 18 tools, or 17, I think we're 18 now, so I need to update this. But product research, niche validation, niche potential, overall market size, market share, search optimization. Those are kind of our flagship tools, and we're going to look at that today around SEO and what we call contextual SEO. And then we have tools on the operational side, alerts, financials, reviews, etc. So that's us in a nutshell. We're known really well in the industry for focusing on what truly matters and being really efficient at doing that for your business. And we have a very strong seller DNA in our company. So that's it. I co-founded the company, and previous to that, I was a seller for a few years and involved in the agency world for a long time as well. I'm going to just talk a couple of seconds to OpenAI and what some of the important stuff is from my perspective. Look, I think when this launched in November, I think for me the alarm bells went off in a good way, and of late maybe in a bad way in some ways. But AI has been around since the internet started, right? So there's nothing new there. All of these guys here use it in their software technology. But what ChatGPT did is kind of give us the opportunity to build this into our everyday consumer lives, our consumer behavior, right? Everyone's using it. If not now, on a daily basis, we will be. So it's a game-changing technology, in my opinion. And so when I saw this come out, similar to the dot-coms network, social networks, Uber, I was like, hey, we have to kind of explore this. Let's jump in. So we jumped in, explored it, and we went in obviously with trepidation and skepticism. But we're pretty impressed with the results. And the one thing I would say here is this is not a replacement technology. It's not going to replace a job, right? What it's going to do is it's going to help as an additive tool, right? Think of it as this kind of VA, smart VA tool that can do certain processes and things for you in your everyday life, obviously including on Amazon. But it pushes us as humans to focus on our expertise, our creative output. So it really is something that will be additive in our life. In theory, if it's used in the right way, and it's not going to be replacing gigs, it's going to just push us to do better. That's there's a whole lot of philosophical conversations happening around it. But I think at the end of the day, as the world moves forward in technology, where we're going to do better as humans is focusing on that creative output and our expertise. I'm going to talk a couple of seconds to what we learned from our testing. We obviously got the team on it and we started testing. Hey, like how does this work? We were one of the first partners to jump on the ChatGPT API, and we're a partner member with them there using the API. And what's genius about this from our perspective is that, AI works, the ChatGPT works on the quality of the prompts, right? So we have to give it really quality data to ensure that the output of, for example, the content on a listing is written in the right way with the right optimization for the algorithm. And that's really based on our technology, which is like, how do we find the right keywords? So we prompted with like, really, really specific, relevant, important keywords that you would need to optimize for in terms of working well for getting obviously breadth and search visibility, but also working for the algorithm. Product awareness. How do we ensure that it gets product awareness? How do we ensure that it understands what listings actually converge really well? How do we input buyer sentiment that we collect from review word cloud assimilation that we do? So we do all of these things using our current tools, which just makes the integration work that much better. So these are the things that we feed it with. And overall, with our kind of testing, we've seen about a 36% improvement in the actual optimization scores over the best selling listings for that specific buyer keyword. And I'm going to show you in a second how we know that, because our tool is built in a way where we can score not only your listing or a ChatGPT listing, but also your competitors' listings in terms of how well they are optimized within the niche of that buyer keyword that you've typed in. So I'll show you that in a second. And again, the main point here, and I've had a lot of these conversations with agencies that have a lot of expertise around content writing or even sellers, is that the idea here is to give you an amazing baseline in an amazing speed, but then you have to obviously work on it and finesse it and bring your expertise to that. So it's moving you from being a content creator into being a content editor. So from a seller perspective, you're just that challenge or that hump where you're like, I know what I want to say, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to write it where I'm optimized for the keywords in the right way for the algorithm. This thing will do it in under a minute and give you that baseline where you're like, okay, this is optimized, it's written in a pretty good way, let me finesse it, figure it out, and then I can upload it directly to Amazon based on our tool. So that's where we are. We went in obviously skeptical, but we're impressed with the results, and we're impressed with kind of the potential of where we can take this, not only in this tool, but in iterations for this tool, and then future tools as well. So I'm excited by it, and a lot of people. It's live in beta. We've been live now for I think 3 weeks. By the way, you have to sign up in Nick's link in this presentation to get access to the beta. You can't just sign up, on the website. So make sure you go through the link, and you get access to the beta, and it's actually free as part of the current subscription. So you're not getting charged extra in our beta right now to use it. So these are all win-wins for you guys who want to go in and test it, and you can test it for free in our free sign up if you want. Okay, so the roadmap is exciting and never ending. If you guys have questions on that, I'm not going to talk about it right now. Just ask a question and I'll talk about what's coming up in the roadmap in the future. But so far the beta is going really well. I'm going to show you, this is our tool in essence, and I'll jump in and show you in the software. But again, what we do is we call it contextual SEO. That's what I coined, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. But it's, too many tools are just focusing on like, how do you optimize a listing? But it doesn't show you how does that compare to your main competitors. And I think that's a big difference in our tools. We actually show you competitor listings, and you can add whichever competitors and see how well they rank in comparison to what you're creating. All right, so let's jump over. I'm going to demo. I don't know where I got that, but anyway, that's the demo. Hopefully you will be impressed. Let's jump over to ZonGuru. Can you guys see my screen right now? Yes, you can, right? Okay, thumbs up. Good. Okay, so this is ZonGuru right now. Again, this is our main dashboard. We have 18 tools down the left-hand side, product research, etc. One quick plug that I want to give is that we launched yesterday as part of our dashboard, this daily traffics dashboard. So session and conversion percent today and historical is all going to be included, and you can see past and current. What's beautiful about this is if you go to Seller Central, it's really clunky. It's hard to look at historical trends and how that's working. You now get this in a dashboard, and you get separation between mobile and browser as well. So it's a pretty cool feature that's just been launched. Anyway, that's a different topic. I just want to plug that. But here's the listing GPT. So I'm going to click on this listing optimization. We have a bunch of tools. Our keyword tool is super strong, and that's obviously what fuels the listing optimization. But this is what it looks like. So I'm going to just give an example that I've been using of late. It's a golf cooler. You know, on Amazon, it kind of looks, I'll just show you right now. This is like a golf cooler, right? These are all the products. Now, obviously, if you're creating a listing, and I'm going to end pretty quick because I know I don't want to run too long, but if you're creating a listing, you want to be well optimized for the algorithm, but you also want to understand how well are your competitors optimized, right? And that's what we do in the tool. So I pulled in Frostbox Golf Bag, which is the #1 organic listing for the term golf cooler. And I pulled in the Atletico Golf, which is in the middle of page 1. I can pull in up to 8 listings. Just go here and you can just click over here and just pull in any listing that you want. So I pull in 2 listings, and we pull in all the content that matters for SEO. So title, bullets, and actually description as well. I think if they have a description, it'll be here. I'll show you descriptions, and then also the backend search terms, which is a unique. We pull that in as well. So I pull in all the content there, and I'm just going to go ahead and load the keywords. So imports from our keyword tool. You can import your own keywords, or you can use keywords from our tool if you want. So I'll just go all keywords. So what I'm doing is I'm loading the keywords, and based on, you know, the keywords, the listing is going to get a score based on the strength of how well it's optimized for those keywords, exact phrase, broad match, title, bullets, back and search terms, etc. That works well for the algorithm, right? So this #1 listing is it's a 30%, it's a score of 30,000, which is a figure we figured out based on our intelligence, and it's in the top 10% of all listings that are optimized for the word golf cooler. So it's a well optimized listing. This one is average, right? I did an AI listing, but I'm just going to create another one here just on the fly. I'm just going to go AI generated, and I'm going to add listings. So in 30 seconds, hopefully, and sometimes through Zoom, it takes a little bit longer, but you know, we're going to get an optimized listing that typically is about 30% better than the other listings. Now, what we're doing while this is loading right now is we're using all the keywords on the left-hand side. And obviously, you need to make sure that you've vetted your keywords and you're feeding it with the right keywords for your niche. We do a really good job on our tool, but you can add, tweak, change that, and that's going to feed the AI listing and as well as product sentiment. So product awareness, what kind of product it is, sentiment, reviews, etc. And you get a listing, and it's different every time, right? You can see this one before was 36. So right off the bat, it's come out with a 35,000 score, and it's in the top 5 of listings optimized for for the keywords, right? So it's better than the listing of page 1 from an optimization perspective, and it's written in a way that works well for Amazon, right? So you can see if I just scroll down here, you can see the title: golf beer cooler bag, insulated soft-sided cooler, lockable pins. And this is actually a brand name, so I could redo it and take it out. I just haven't filtered the keywords on the left. But and if I don't like this, I can reiterate the title only by just hitting this. And then it has bullets. It has benefit first, followed by description, benefits, ergonomic design, multi-purpose, everything. And then it does a full description. And you can actually add the backend search terms. It's not added automatically, so I can just add any backend search terms. These are the deduped ones that are remaining. So I've done that. I've got a score of 41,000. I'm in the top 3%. I can go in here and I can edit it. I can do whatever I want. And when I'm happy with it, I can publish it directly to Amazon right here, and it will flat file upload to Amazon. So the point being is, like, you can see in 1 minute, you've got a listing that is well optimized for keywords. So you're maximizing your potential for everything else that we're doing, whether you're using, outside traffic and you're using Nozzle to look at your LTV or whatever it is. Like, if you don't have a good listing and it's not well optimized, you're leaving money on the table. So you're getting good potential. And obviously you're doing that in a super fast time, so you can focus on other parts of your business. That's one of it. It's pretty interesting. And looking forward to the rest of you guys present and questions as well.
Okay, thank you, John. One quick question. Without ChatGPT, how long would it take somebody to do that?
I mean, I would say if you're good at what you're doing and you know Amazon, it's probably going to take you, to do that, it could take you 2 hours. That's probably being generous. It'll probably take you a little bit longer. Plus, you're not forgetting the writer's block that you might face to actually get yourself going, right? And that's what's genius about this is that, when you're like, oh, I've got to sit down and write a listing. and that can take you a lot of procrastination to get there. This is just fast jumping you over that stumbling block, so you've already got something you can just edit and move forward with, right? So it's a massive time saver. Yeah.
Okay. So I could say this is for ideal for agencies with a lot of clients, a lot of listings. Anybody who has a lot of products, SKUs, no, that's for them, right?
And ideally for sellers, because at the end of the day, like you'll probably do a better job writing everything from scratch if you just spend those 3-4 hours, if it takes you that long. But if you just do it, if you get your baseline and then you edit off of that, that you're working on something that's well optimized already, right? So it helps both. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, John. So guys, you have the miracle tool which can write your listing in 1 minute. But then, of course, what else can you do to make your brand more sexy in 2023? External traffic. And that's why we have Kfir, because they've solved something which has been an issue for a lot of sellers. And I'm quoting again a partner that I've met. Okay, man, so these guys managed to figure this out. That's somebody I spoke with recently. That's what they told me for Attribution Insight. So Kfir, please introduce yourself. Tell us more about you and what you guys have been building and what you guys have right now and how you can help sellers. And thank you for joining.
Mute. Okay. So, hi everybody. So I will start with a little bit of a background about myself and my partners, my two partners. Well, we've been in the industry of e-commerce for over 10 years now, and I started as an eBay seller, and then after a few years I started to sell on Amazon, and I've been selling on Amazon for over 8 years now. And my partners as well, they are all sellers on Amazon, and we are all big sellers. And along the years, we've been driving external traffic to Amazon from all kinds, from Google Ads to social media, influencer marketing, etc., etc. And our main issue was that we couldn't track and monitor those results. And like 2 years ago, something like that, Amazon came out with Amazon Attribution, and we were so happy. We said, oh, finally we can track and monitor, we can work with that and finally know the results after we were investing so much money in external traffic. And we started to use it, and we saw that it's basically sucks. It doesn't really work. The data that we received from there wasn't accurate. And so we lived it, and we started to search other ways to break it and find a way to actually know the data that we need to know. And we couldn't find any tool that actually gives you the right thing that you need to know. And like something like a year ago, we decided that we want to check it again. We started to work again with attribution on Amazon, and we saw that that some of the data is actually accurate, and we can start do something with that. So we started to work with that, and we saw that it's not enough. We need to know more than that in order to make the right decision and how to leverage all the campaigns that we are doing on social media and with influencers. I personally work a lot with influencers, and I've been investing a lot of money on that, and I'm not sure that it's actually profitable. But now I know, but I will get to it later on. After like a few months that we've been using it, we sat down and said, okay, we must find a way that we can actually know our tacos, our echoes, conversion, CPC, keywords, ranking, everything. We want to know as much as we can. Let's put it this way. And then we met one friend of ours, which is a software engineer, and we told him about our problem. And he told us, oh, okay, give me a few days, and I will come back to you with a solution and all that. So after a few days, he came back and he said, okay, I have a solution. Let's start work on it. And they started to work on it. And after a few months, we had a tool, which is today is the Attribution Insights. And we started to use that on our accounts to see how it works actually. And we started to see that we have a tool that actually gives us echoes, total echoes of all the campaigns that we have, specific echoes for specific campaigns, tacos, CPC, to cart, keywords ranking, actually everything that we wanted. And then we also upgraded the platform, and we created an option that you can actually launch and create and modify the campaigns from the platform. So now basically, sorry, you don't need to go out to any other platform to Amazon or to your social media platform or to Google platform. You can see everything in one platform, and you can manage all the campaigns from there. And that's about it. This is what we did, and it's working very, very well. And now I want to show you a case study that came from Amazon. This is something, let me share the screen, wait a second. Okay, let me know when you see the screen. You see it? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, yes, we see it.
Perfect. Okay, so here we have this is the background that I already told you about us. We are sellers. And let's do that. I want to show you one more thing. Where is it? Not this one. Okay. I want to show you my reference and where I brought it from. So this is a newsletter that arrived from Amazon that speaks about the brand referral fee bonus and all the traffic sources and the benefits and all that, but I did it a little bit nicer here on the presentation, so I'm going to show you here on the presentation. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the Amazon Attribution, let me do a short introduction to Amazon Attribution. Amazon Attribution, basically, it's something that give you the ability. It's a link that you create on Amazon, and it gives you the ability to track and monitor some of your results that when you're driving external traffic to Amazon. Now, when you're doing that, Amazon will give you back the brand, not all the brand referral fee, but 10% of the brand referral fee you will get back. You will get the brand referral fee bonus from any sale that you will bring from outside of Amazon. Now, let's see that. Okay. So here you can see that the search had the highest total sales. It means that when the highest total sales arrived from Google Ads, and Google, not on Google Ads, but also in general in Google. So this is something that we on our platform can help launch the campaign, create the campaign, and monitor all the campaigns. And if you know to do it right, you can increase your profits and your ranking on Amazon significantly. So this is one thing. Now, one more thing is something that I was quite surprised of it, that when you're using attribution links on your email list, when you're sending to your clients, on those things, you will get the highest conversions, which is I haven't used that tool for email marketing, but I'm going to use it from now on. I mean, after I read that article, I said, okay, so if I'm going to have a proper email list and I will know how to use it and leverage it. And I will have also a tool that can actually measure all the results. It can be a game changer. So email it has the highest conversion rates, and this is all about all this information comes from directly from Amazon. This is not something that we made up. And social media, of course, also it's very important for awareness, but you can drive sales from there. I can tell you for sure, because this is something that I'm doing on a regular basis, and we see great results with that. And now when we have the tool of attribution insights, you can actually leverage even more with our tool. Okay, let's see what is next. This is very important. Driving traffic to Amazon increased additional product sales by an average of 24.5%. This is amazing. I mean, if you are not driving external traffic to your Amazon listing store, basically you're leaving so much money on the ground or on the table, whatever. I know it was quite difficult to do that, but now we have a tool that actually solves that issue. So basically, if you want to do it, you can do it now, and in quite easy way. Now, videos. I love working with videos. You can use, for example, Instagram, Reels or Stories, and generate traffic from there. And just create the link of the attribution, and then you can see great results. It's great for sales, for e-commerce. Video is the best conversion we see on videos. What I do is basically I work a lot with Instagram, and probably a lot of people will ask about TikTok. Right now, there is a problem with the TikTok that I mean, TikTok and Amazon is like doesn't communicate one with each other. We don't know why. It looks like TikTok it doesn't share the information that we need in order to be able to get the information that we need. We are trying to find a way around it. I'm sure we will find a way around it, but it will take some time. But for now, what I do, I work a lot with Instagram, and which is quite similar, even though TikTok is growing very fast and traffic over there is cheaper. But Instagram is also a great way to work with videos, and I really, really recommend to do that. That's about it, guys. This is what we do, and this is us, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Kfir. So now we're gonna move to Rael. Rael, like I said, everybody loves Raymond or Rael in our case. So let's hear what you guys are doing. Quite people love your tool, and of course introduce yourself, because I know you're a little bit about your background. I know it's very interesting. So tell us, and thank you for joining today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Great to be sharing the stage with such esteemed speakers. Cool. So I'm Rael. I'm co-founder and CEO of Nozzle. My background, actually, I'm not, I guess, historically an Amazon seller. I'm more sort of a data AI type background. So I've built a number of companies using machine learning. Learned a lot of things. Well, most of the things, I guess, the hard way. Around
Rael, sorry, Rael, the screen's still being shared.
Yeah, sure. I'll share it in a bit. This is just sort of general.
Oh no, but I can just see the other one. There we go. Now
perfect. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, so learned many of the hard lessons around what works in AI. The hard way. I think one of the more interesting learnings, I think, for me, is when you're building a AI-based product. it's all very well when things go well and you're getting, customers are getting the good results. But if things don't go well and you're unable to explain why, that's when problems arise, right? And customers are not happy with that. And there's definitely some of the lessons I've taken into things like Nozzle. So cool. Anyway, what is Nozzle? What problems are we solving? So really, Nozzle's mission is to give every Amazon seller the power to understand their customers and grow their business. And so specifically, I guess for us, what problem are we solving is we feel that it's not enough anymore to just, I guess, sell products on Amazon. It's really about this idea of building a brand. And there are many ways to build a brand and measure how successful that is. But for us, one of the core things is really understanding your customers on Amazon. What are they doing? How many of them are coming back and buying again? How long does it take? Are they buying the same things over and over? Or actually, are they jumping across different products in your catalog? And this is something where Amazon makes it pretty impossible to do. And that's the problem we're solving, is giving you that sort of customer journey type information, and very importantly, how to use that information to make progress in your business, whether that's profitability goals or sales goals, things like that. So today's topic, and this is where I'll start sharing, is on a very, I guess, specific type of metric, which is customer lifetime value, aka profit per customer. So I guess the background, I'm not going to spend too much time on the slide here, but the backdrop, I guess, for Amazon sellers is, last year was a pretty tough year for most sellers. There was a report yesterday by Marketplace Pulse where total Amazon fees are near 50% of the selling price these days. So Amazon's eating up an enormous chunk of your margin there. And, sellers ultimately need to find another way to compete. And if you look across to the D2C world, a well understood and popular strategy is this idea of not necessarily breaking even on that first purchase, but to have a clear timeline backed up by numbers when to break even. It could be the second purchase, it could be the third purchase. And really, Amazon just doesn't give you that sort of data. And ultimately, this is leveraging arguably the most important asset in your business, which are your customers, and specifically the repeat customers, to change the economics of your business, gain market share, increase sales, profitability, all those sort of things. So I guess the main question is, well, does this really make a difference? And so we ran a study across all our customers, which focused on this idea of a increase in the customer retention rate. So what we mean here is getting more people to buy at least twice. So a 1 percentage point increase in customer retention rate, let's say it was 20 and you moved the needle to 21, right? Just a small 1% increase, results in a 7% increase in profit, not sales, in actual profit. And that's because some of those people are going on to buy a third time, possibly a fourth time. And in a large majority of those cases, you're not having to pay for that second or third purchase. There could be subscribe and saves. They could be going into their order histories. And so a lot of the time, this is just sort of, pure profit there. So it's a 7x multiplier if you can just get more people to buy twice. So a huge difference in today's sort of, tough selling environment. And so introducing customer lifetime value and customer acquisition cost. I'll always talk about these things, I guess, two sides of the same coin in many ways. So what is customer lifetime value? Another way of calling it is just this idea of profit per customer over time. And it's the total net profit from any given customer over the entire period you have a relationship with that person. So let's just take some basic example here. Last month, a new to brand customer comes in via an ad. You make a profit of $5 off that initial order, but they come back, let's say, they buy the same thing in April, June, and September, right? So they're buying in total 4 times within those 9 months. And so we would say that the profit per customer, or the customer lifetime value after 9 months, is $20, right? Now, this is giving you a very different perspective on just focusing on what happens on that first order. Traditionally, Amazon is just very, what the data they give you, firstly, is very ASIN or SKU focused rather than customer focused. And secondly, again, very focused on that first purchase. But this gives you, a much longer lens of what that journey looks like. And so, I can share the slides. I don't want to spend too much details on formulas. That's pretty boring, but I can share the slides. But ultimately what you're doing, excuse me, is trying to get to like an actual, I guess, cash basis of what's cash to the business, cash to the seller of what each customer is actually worth. And so you're taking things like what the price they paid, subtracting out any discounts, any taxes, all the Amazon fees, all your costs of goods sold, and then any advertising costs that are required to acquire that particular customer. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about lifetime value. The other main metric here is this idea of customer acquisition cost. This is just simply how much do I have to pay to acquire a new customer, right? And a simplified version of this can just be all your ad spend, right? Sponsored display, sponsored brand, sponsored brand video, sponsored product, DSP if you're using that, all that sort of stuff. And I guess if you're using off Amazon, as Kfir was saying, you probably want to take those costs into account as well. But you're dividing that by the number of new to brand customers you get every month. So literally, how much am I paying to acquire a new customer? And so this really boils down to quite a fundamental sort of business equation, which is if your profit per customer or your lifetime value is greater than what you're paying to acquire someone, well, then you're in a very good place, right? You can successfully grow your business. But if it's the other way around, meaning I'm having to pay more to acquire a customer than they're actually worth to me over 6 months or over 9 months or over 12 months, well, I've got to change something. Something's just, not going to work. You're not going to remain in business for very long. And so what influences this customer lifetime value? How can you grow it? And really, it comes down to, we would say, mostly 3 things here. And so what I have here is, let's say, your average profit on the first purchase per customer is $15.72. And because some of your customers clearly are buying again within 3 months, and it could be the same product, it could be a different product, it doesn't really matter. That then grows to $19.68. And if you wait 6 months, because some of those people are buying a third time, or some people are taking 5 months possibly to buy this for the second time, that number now grows to $22.21. And fundamentally, this changes how you think about customer acquisition and specifically your ad and your ad budget. And so, again, this is just a sort of made up example here, but let's assume that you can afford to have an ACOS of 61% on the first purchase. If you're prepared to wait 3 months, that can grow to something like 74%. And if you're prepared to wait 6 months, that can grow to 84%. And so what are the 3 things that you can do to focus on to grow this customer lifetime value over time? Well, the first thing is retention, right? How many people place one order or more than one order? How do I get more people just to buy more than once, right? So whether that's remarketing campaigns, there's the customer engagement tool within Amazon where you can start sending emails to people who've previously bought. Those things can clearly make a very big difference. Certainly, if you're selling a product, if you're selling supplements, and it's a 30 or 60-day supply, and people are reordering on Subscribe and Save, that's kind of a very basic but powerful example of a lot of this just takes care of itself. Secondly, when do people buy? It's all very well saying, okay, people buy twice, but if I have to wait a year for that second order, I probably don't have, I can't wait that long. you're gonna go out of business before you make a profit there. So trying to get most of your second orders in within those first 3 months can really move the needle. And the third thing, of course, is the margin, because we're talking about profit here, not just sales. So I can have somebody buy every single day from me, but if my margin is 0, my lifetime value is going to be flat, right? You can get them to buy all you want. It's not going to move the needle. So those are the 3 things to focus on: trying to get more people to buy twice or 2 or more times, trying to get that to happen ideally within sort of 90 days or 120 days. And of course, on the margin side, which is arguably tougher to control in this environment. So what does it allow you to do, right? And so probably the biggest one is this idea of on the advertising side or the customer acquisition side, what is my true break-even ACOS? Because the whole thing about ACOS is it's focused on the profitability on the first sale only, right? And we've just been through a couple of examples here where somebody buys 2, 3, 4 times, let's say within 9 or 12 months, and that ACOS calculation just isn't reflective of actually all the hard work that initial ad did, getting somebody to buy that first time. And so what if that ad spend contributes to future profits? So again, a basic example here, just to highlight the point, where on the left-hand side, you've got ad spend and an ad sale, ACOS of 50%, not particularly great. But what if somebody actually bought 3 more times in the next, whatever it is, 6, 9, 12 months? Well, then you can take that initial ad spend and divide it by 80, not by the 20, and that completely changes it, right? That's 12.5% compared to 50%. And so again, rethinking how what you want to do with your ad budgets, which ASINs to focus on, being able to outcompete customers, invest in branding, right? So if you can invest in higher up the funnel, whether it's DSP ads or sponsored brand videos, awareness campaigns, typically things that are high investment, don't have as high conversion rates, but they're justified here when you've got a much higher break-even ACoS target that you can work with. More aggressive PPC strategies, you can go after much higher CPC terms as a result of this. The caveat being, yes, you're not going to break even on that first purchase, but you can break even on the second or third purchase, which is, let's say, 3 months, something like that. And forecasting cash flow is actually increasingly, we're seeing a lot of customers very interested in this. And I guess the key thing here is, if you're thinking about forecasting, let's say 2023, some sort of scenario analysis or forecast, well, we can say to you that we've got key inputs. We know that for every 1,000 customers that buy from you, 300 buy twice, 200 buy 3 times, 100 buy 4 times, whatever that looks like. And we know how long it takes between each of these purchases. And so using those critical variables, we can start forecasting our cash flows as well and say, like, I need to pay $10 to acquire a customer. I need to acquire 1,000 customers. I know what that trajectory looks like after that first purchase. So I have a better handle on forecasting cash flow, forecasting inventory, things like that. So that's pretty much it from me. I'm happy to take as many questions. I hope there are lots. But thank you again for having me. Looking forward to the questions.
Thank you. By the way, I asked today ChatGPT, okay, ChatGPT, here is the webinar, here are the topics. Prepare 2 questions, and they were so boring that they dismissed them. So we'll go with the real questions from the people. So I guess it's good for some stuff, but still, we're looking for something more with more humor. So obviously, we went from obviously the ChatGPT, external traffic, profitability, which is the most important. Without profit, you wouldn't need Stef or hellotax or anybody. But here, Stef is going to tell about something which a lot of companies don't know. I mean, everybody who goes to Europe, they go to Amazon, they tell them, go and do the panel, and they give up eventually. So Stef has a solution which would eliminate a lot of the issues that you actually need to overcome when you go to Europe. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell in detail what they do and how they do it. So thanks for joining, Stef. Tell us about you guys and what you do.
Thanks, Nick, and nice to meet you all. So what I'm going to be focusing on today is basically Europe and why you should see Amazon as a borderless business. And if you are a local hero now, and if you don't go international, I'm hoping you're making some money now, because in a couple of years you won't be making money anymore, because the clients that we represent are going cross-border. And once you go cross-border, you generate more resources, and the ones with the more resources are going to win on the long term. So a little bit back about myself. I've been in the Amazon marketplace space for 12 years, always on a European level. So from Italy to Norway, from Switzerland to Ireland, basically setting up the operation so the consumer locally has the local experience, which is fundamental for long-term success, while it was managed centrally. Now, for the last 5 years, I have a company, marketplace Distri, where we offer an end-to-end solution. I call it IaaS, Amazon Infrastructure as a Service. Basically, we open up the European market in a matter of weeks and against a fraction of the cost, and being able to blitz scale. How this works, I'm going to show you in the next minutes. I'll first share my screen and quickly give you a bit of an insight on why this is an important part for your future strategy. Okay, here you see my screen, right? Let me see to do it in full screen. Should be. Are you seeing now my screen or not?
No, screen? I don't. You should see the green button at the center. Share screen.
Oh, I actually already pushed that button. I thought it was already doing that, but I'll do it again.
Okay, yeah, I see it right now.
Yeah,
okay.
And now
okay,
I should do it from here. Are you now seeing the full screen?
Yes, we see
right.
it. I see it,
Okay,
yes,
so Amazon, we're an Amazon operator. We lead Amazon, as I just shared. Okay, to give a little bit of an insight, Amazon, we all know it is a beast. 1.9 million companies sell continuously on Amazon. Over 10.5 million companies sell at least once per year. They all generate, all your clients together generate over $1 billion revenue per day. But what's the problem? Less than 1% actually selling on a pan-European level. So Amazon is active in 9 countries, but basically nobody does it. So this is absolutely weird to me. Next slide. So I'm going to do, oh, boom, boom, boom. Okay. So why is Europe an important market? So in the last 2 years, Amazon launched 4 new countries: Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, Sweden. They are building warehouses completely throughout whole Europe. So it's a matter of time before another 4 countries will be opened. So if you look, when you have a ASIN that reaches a certain maturity, or your brand reaches a certain maturity, and you basically relaunch new products just to start generating more sales, you should be looking at international expansion. Because you're taking with you your reviews, you already have proof of concept on the platform, so the future is pan-European. In the markets sentiment that we are seeing today, is more important than ever that you start thinking without borders, because you're gonna have products that sell good in one country and then the same product sells bad in the other. And especially when you have a wider catalog in multiple countries, you create a sort of a stability. So you are less depending on market trends, local market trends, you're less depending in general of the sales on trends. So you're able to create a much more stable business. Also, what we, for example, target with our clients, we say, okay, what's the revenue that you do in the US? Then let's say 80% is also the target that we set for the European market. And I expect in a couple of years, we're able to say you're able to do more than Amazon.com, simply because we are continuously launching new countries. Another part things of the European market, we have the highest spending per person. We are very much committed in buying online, and so from that perspective, you know, it's a good market to be in. But what's the issue in Europe, right? So if you look at the US, I always say US, you're a marketing game. Everybody focuses on performance, while in Europe, it's really an operating game. If you don't control the operation, you're unable to succeed. So here you see some examples, right? The number of buyers are bigger, 50% bigger. The currencies is not 1, but are 4. They are active in 9 countries instead of 1. We're talking now about 8 languages. Why? Because Belgium recently opened and we speak Dutch and we speak French. And the VAT levels are VAT/tax levels. You have on average 3 per country. So you can imagine that's even 27. It's 24, my mistake. So what's the problem? As an example, Belgium recently opened. If you want to start selling in Belgium, you need a customer support that speaks Dutch and French. You need to have a local VAT number to be able to offer next day delivery. You know, next day delivery, we all know what the impact it has on the conversion. Then as well, you need a marketeer that is understanding, you know, the local trends, the local search behavior, etc. This needs to be a local person, right? You cannot find, you cannot work with a freelancer that, for example, also in school learned to speak German or French. You need to have somebody from France or from Germany active in that country. So you need a local person able to set up your campaigns, at least, let's say, the keyword research, do the content optimization, because then you're able to succeed. I always say there's no such thing as a European strategy. So obviously, when you then look at opening one country, you immediately start talking about a small team, team of 5, let's say. But when a country opens, there's no revenue, so you're unable to pay that team, and as well, there's no work, right? There's no full-time activity, so that doesn't really make sense. And that is basically the main reason why 99% of the brands sell in 1 and 2 or 3 countries, and that's about it. So what is basically your opportunity? Your opportunity is basically say, oh, we're going to set up an in-house Amazon team, and that's more doable in the US than or in Australia than, for example, in Europe, because of all the local differences that you see. So to give a little bit of an insight, this is what I basically did for the majority of those 12 years. I was working as an interim manager inside companies to set up that infrastructure. And I can promise you it's a complex project for any size of company. It's costly, it's complex, and majority also is because you cannot just hire an Amazon manager, right? You need to have all the departments involved. You need to have the warehouse management system connected, the warehouse managers trained, procedures set up, the customer support needs to be trained. Your back office system needs to, back office team needs to know how the Amazon Seller Central and Vendor Central works. So what is then the difficulty, especially when you have a larger organization, is they all have to adjust their procedures towards one sales channel. And then I'll tell people, you know, you need to consider it as the largest sales channel of Europe. But at the end, people don't want to change. So setting it in-house is a very big, basically culture difference, because you need to really put the whole team, all departments, focus on recognizing that Amazon is the largest sales channel. So what the majority basically do is they work with different service providers, on average, let's say 5. And you know, but often, for example, a warehouse company that was a warehouse company that also started doing something with Amazon. And like I already said in the beginning, Amazon is not a side project. You need to have a team that's 100% committed, understanding the complexity of Amazon. Then you're able to really set up a smooth operation that's controllable and avoids all kinds of chargebacks, late deliveries, and other shizzle that we all are familiar with. So these are the 2 main options that you basically see in scaling up the European market. So to give a little bit more insight about myself, I said, you know, in this podcast, I said, okay, don't sell your business. Why I say don't sell your business? The problem is as follows: 60% of the FBA brands want to sell their business within 3 years. Huge market. So you're talking about basically hundreds of thousands of companies that are planning to be acquired. The reality is that there are, I think, around 200 aggregators in the total ecosystem right now. The total companies bought in these last almost 5 years is just a couple of thousand. So you can understand that basically it's less than 1% of the companies are actually being able to be acquired. Why do people in general want to be acquired? Because often they are product entrepreneurs and or they are entrepreneurs from a commercial perspective, but every person, also myself, has a sort of a limitation. And if you want to scale, you need to have resources, operation, knowledge about how to really blitz scale a business. So when an aggregator then comes to you and say, hey, don't worry, you're now with a team of 5, but we have the warehouse, we have the logistics, we have the marketing, we have the performance, we have the budgets to scale. Your brand is now a local hero. You're doing 500,000 euro revenue or whatever, and we're able to bring it to 15 million, and you're going to get a nice bonus after 3 years. A lot of brands see that as a good way. Well, I am actually convinced also to stimulate all the 99% that's never going to be bought. You should still develop your business, but you should scale by us. So here you see a few of the marketplaces, obviously the aggregators and other companies that have been inspired. So you have Trustio, obviously the most well-known company. Trustio says, scale with us, they have good knowledge. Then you have Pattern. Pattern is an operator and accelerator, but they're also acting as a distributor. So that means that they're taking stock risk. Merema is actually the aggregator that I like the most. As brand owner, you still have a share within the company, so you're fully committed and doing product development, while Merema is focusing on the acceleration part. So we are a little bit off the wall. We still offer the acceleration option. So we have set up the complete infrastructure to be able to scale immediately in 9 countries, but you're still 100% owner of the company. And because we are a service provider, we work on consignment. That means we are not picky upfront with which of the brands we're going to work. So basically any brand that does, let's say, more than 30K per month in US, we see also as a brand that should be able to do 30K per month in Europe. So that's basically how we are inspired. So let me give you a little bit of an insight how this further works. So if you want to sell in Europe, you need to have an importer of records. Somebody that imports the products and has a 10 years product liability. Then you need a warehouse, you need to have customs, you need to do logistics. So basically what we do, we set up a seller account that already has a legal and fiscal entity set up. We import the products under our own company name. Then you or your agency, because we also work together with agencies, or ourselves will start doing the listing. So basically you need to see yourself, okay, I have a .com seller account and I have a .eu seller account. You can manage it exactly how you manage your .com seller account with your current APIs, with your current agencies that you work with. And you're not involved in any of the local hassle. We make sure that the import is done, the compliance is done, that there's a warehouse hub, that there's a logistical hub. So on this way, you can start selling in Europe in a matter of weeks and still together with the partners that you already have been working with. So this is really the 360 approach where you can decide I'm going to work 100% with us, or you're going to decide where you see optional. I already have my VAT management company. I already have my Amazon agency. Then we can work together. But the main thing is that we do then is basically provide you that fundament to be able to directly sell in Europe without any legal or fiscal entity. So that's in a nutshell, basically who we are, what we do, and based also to give a bit of insight about the European market. So feel free to reach out if you have any further questions. For now, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Stef. You know, I like the presentation. I love a lot of visuals, numbers. The only thing you should be a little more positive, man. You're actually solving them a lot of issues. You know, they should be more happier, you know, for what you guys are doing, you know, because see, otherwise they need to talk with like 10 providers now. So all great. So
Exactly.
And Stef, you know, covered a lot of stuff. Stef, they're using hellotax for the VAT engine. So I'm gonna scan from my presentation quicker than usual because he covered a lot of the topics. But I'm gonna give you like just to summarize now what he mentioned and why, of course, you should expand to Europe. Because the one thing that I didn't know is that only 2% of US sellers are selling in Europe, which is crazy. I didn't know that. I'm gonna use it for my future presentations because here is now the information that we got for Europe. I mean, there's like over 750 million, you know, like people in the European Union, and 450 million of those are actually over 18, which means these guys are all potential clients for what you guys are doing. You know, there is like more views on the European marketplace, as Stef mentioned, and less sellers. So more potential, less competition. So it's no-brainer. And right now, when there's a slowdown, when the economy is not great, you should be crazy not to expand in Europe, especially if you have option like Stef's or what we have on our side as well. Because either way, if you want to go to Stef, you can do everything at one place without bothering with anybody else. On our side, it's a little different because we only cover the VAT. The company was founded in 2016. I used to be a client of hellotax. When I sold my business, I was actually asked to help them with the partnership. But the long story short is I know that it is hard to grow across Europe unless you have the right partners. And that's what we're doing at hellotax. That's what Stef is doing. But he's doing it in a better way because you don't talk with anybody but them. So in regards to hellotax, just to summarize again, one thing that I think we didn't discuss earlier is when you expand in Europe, you need to have a product. If you don't have a product, you don't need anybody. So this is where ZonGuru can help out. They can do the product research. They can check who are your competitors, what are your competitors doing. And by the way, you'll be surprised sometimes a lot of markets, a lot of niches don't have as much competition as in the USA. So you're missing a lot if you're not trying to expand in Europe. The other parts that you need to deal with, VAT, as we mentioned, product compliance, fiscal rep, customs and logistics. These are things that you need to take care of. And of course, you have the option to do it, with different partners. We have over 450 partners, or you can go to Stef and he can help out. And like I said, they're using the VAT for us. And the last, but not the least, is like the culture and language barrier. This is something which a lot of sellers think that is not important, but that's not true. If your translation is not done properly, people are not going to buy your stuff. So these are the 3 steps that you need to consider. Having the right product, checking if your product fits into the European marketplaces. If not, what you need to change, the compliance part, and of course the culture and language barrier. So as Stef discussed on the VAT, this is what hellotax does. It was built as a niche service for e-commerce sellers, Amazon sellers, Shopify sellers. We have integration. So anybody who is selling in Europe, and this applies not only for brands, but for agencies, aggregators, service providers, all of those are using our solution. And we have a solution where you can actually connect one VAT to multiple seller accounts, which is something that very few companies are offering that. So in regards to the VAT liability, what do you need to know about Europe? How much VAT you had in the past, how much you have right now, and how much you need to pay. You need to pay returns in one or more markets based on where you're registered. If you're moving stock within the different markets, you will need to have complete visibility across your movements because you need to report that in some markets. And the last but not the least, if you're selling on more than one sales channels, you need to have the complete visibility of all your sales because you need to report that. We had a question earlier. What is the complexity in regards to the VAT registration process? So Spain is the hardest market to go into. They require notary translation, original documentation, all this stuff. So if you would need to go to Spain, it should be your last option. So Poland is an easy market, even though does that big, and probably Germany is the most demanded one. And for a few reasons. For example, if you're a US company, a lot of people don't know that, but in Germany, they don't require translation. So you don't need to translate your documents. You can just provide them in English. The other thing is, in Germany, there's a specific tax authority which deals with a US-only company application. So if you're a UK company, that's funny, but you're going to get the VAT slower than if you're based from the USA. So all the 95% of sellers who sell in the USA, they should know that because it's easier for them to expand to Europe than compared to a UK company after Brexit. And the last thing, in Germany, they don't require fiscal representation, which means it's cheaper. And the last but not the least, they're the biggest market in Europe. As far as now, they're the 3rd Amazon market after US and Japan, and they have a central location in Europe. So it's a perfect place to start your expansion to Europe. Somebody would ask, okay, but why do you need VAT? Can I sell without VAT? No, you cannot. That's it. You're not gonna be able to set up an Amazon account without VAT. That's it. So just to keep it simple, why you need VAT. If you hold stock in any market in Europe, you need to have VAT number. If you have one like if you hold stock in one country, you need one VAT. After you hit 10,000K, you can actually register for the OSS, and you can fulfill orders to all the European Union countries. And this is actually good because before you needed to actually follow the threshold in different markets and need to do different several VATs. Right now, you just need one VAT, one OSS. This is if you're EU-based company in your home country. If you're non-EU-based company selling on Amazon, for example, you just need one VAT. As long as you don't hold stock in other markets, and you can use the one VAT, and Amazon are going to use their OSS registration to fulfill orders across the whole European Union. So just to put it as simple as possible, now it's much easier to expand in Europe. I'm talking to the 98% of the sellers in the USA, just so you guys know. Okay, let me go back. So just to summarize now. Okay, so what we recommend to anybody expanding to Europe? So like Stef mentioned earlier, if you go to Amazon, Amazon is going to tell you, okay, guys, go and do the PANU. But PANU means doing multiple markets. You're not going to get the VAT at the same time. So it's not an ideal solution. So what I recommend sellers on our side, just start with one VAT in Germany and expand based on your expansion across Europe. Set up the VAT there. You can start selling from Germany, set up your stores in the other markets without storing goods there, set up your localization, translation, and once you validate that you're selling well in other markets, then you can set up multiple VATs. But just to keep it simple, start with one VAT and grow. If you're a non-EU company, you don't need OSS because Amazon is going to use their own OSS registration. If you're selling on Shopify and you would like to sell from one location to multiple countries across Europe, then you would need to have the OSS registration because Shopify is not the so-called DIM support, and you would need to file the reports and pay the return yourself. So Amazon is probably the ultimate and the easiest solution to expand in Europe because one VAT, Amazon is going to collect the VAT if you're a non-EU company, so it's really easy. Of course, if you're a big company, an agency, an aggregator, Stef, it's a very good solution because you can eliminate the time to wait for the VAT, because you'll be waiting around 2 is the best case scenario, up to 3 months, sometimes even 4 or 5 in Spain to get the VAT. But even if this looks like scare-free, just keep in mind, 98% of your competitors are not selling in Europe. So if you do the first step and expand, you'll be already ahead of them. And just to summarize, in regards to hellotax, we have a software. We connect to Amazon, Shopify, we pull your data, we file your reports, we have an account managers who are speaking multiple languages. So it's a SaaS solution on the front end, plus managed service on the back end. And on top of that, we have over 450 partners in the space. So if you need something, we have it here. There is no partner that we cannot connect with. And just to let you know, also we have a free VAT software, so you can use the software without paying. You only pay if you set up the VAT for us, so you can actually use that to monitor your sales and just have all the information about your transactions. And the last thing is every month when we do the webinar, we're giving 6 free VAT registrations. So if you're not scared of Europe, come here. If you don't want to expand your business, come on for vacation. You can go skiing, you can go to the beach, you can go into a lot of stuff, and yes, of course, you can also sell across Amazon. And I think that's it, guys. I tried to be as quick as possible because Stef covered a lot of topics, but right now I think we scared a lot of people with all these taxes. But anyways, we have some questions. So let's go ahead with the questions. Let me see if we have some questions here in the chat. Okay, no. Okay, here it is. So the first question, that's for that's from Maya Patel. Can I use CLV for forecasting future behavior?
Customer lifetime value. Yeah, absolutely. That's something I sort of addressed on the during my slot there, where look, it comes with all caveats. The one thing I would say about all forecasts is, as the saying goes, all forecasts are wrong, but some are useful. So, to the extent that you think prior customers are indicative of your future customers, absolutely. And the two key inputs, because we concentrate on businesses that have repeat orders, in theory, these are more forecastable, right? And so the key inputs there are the retention rate, how many people buy twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and how long it takes between each order. If you have those inputs, that's definitely a pretty strong basis for forecasting. And from a product point of view from Nozzle, that's kind of the one big initiative that we're working on. And I've already shared a bunch of, I guess, prototypes and stuff with our customers there. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the forecasting is a key piece of that. It's more strategic than, operational or tactical. This is sort of more of a planning thing that you would revisit maybe half a year or quarterly or something like that, but very useful still.
Okay, thanks, Rael. Next question is from Dylan Reyes. I don't want a fiscal or legal entity in Europe. Can I still sell in Europe? I think that's for you, Stef.
Yes, exactly. That's basically what we do. We avoid that hassle. So you can lease an account with that already set up. And so we use that also to test the market. And once you say, okay, I'm doing X revenue, I have some money to spend, then in the meanwhile, you start registering your own VAT in cooperation with hellotax. And from the moment you have that all set up, we add those details to that seller account, and then basically you are completely set up. So we are sort of a stepping stone for brands that are having doubts to be able to access the market, and but obviously with the objective often on the long term or mid to long term, let's say 6 months to 2 years, to be able to have their own entity set up.
Okay, thanks, Stef. So you see, it's a much quicker solution. So next question, that's for you, John, from Liam Carter. What are the next things you will be adding with ChatGPT?
Jeez, the world's your oyster. There's so much stuff that can be done there. Look, we're on the beta right now, and the results are impressive, as obviously we showed you. But we have our kind of next version of beta coming out, I think, next week. We're adding more product awareness. We're adding actually language, which we're actually testing. We've seen a lot in this space, and the results of ChatGPT with language is actually also very impressive. But we're actually testing that with some of our agency partners who do a lot of localized language translation, and they're seeing good results. So language is next. We're playing with tonality. I don't think that's a big needle mover for all of us, but certainly there's different tonalities that matter in different marketplaces, or for your brand for that matter, right? So like your case in point earlier, doing asking it questions or doing it in a funny way can come out differently, right? So salesy tonality in the US versus kind of straight speaking, direct speaking in the German marketplace make a difference. So that's another one we're doing. So we're doing a few things in the listing optimization space, but kind of our philosophy is focusing on the 80-20, what's the most impactful stuff that will move the needle. And once we had a certain point with listing optimization, we're going to move on to other areas, right? So obviously product research is going to be an interesting one, and a few other areas. So it's crazy what is happening with ChatGPT. I just saw something this morning where you can literally tell ChatGPT to develop a website in Figma, and it gives you the Figma files, perfectly created.
Oh, no ways.
It's crazy. Yeah.
What? I haven't heard of that. That's crazy.
You get the Figma files, and it's like, what? So I don't know. It's crazy what's coming out.
Yeah, I guess I'm in the Stone Age. I just use it to rewrite my post in funny way and to add emojis. That's it. And very rudimentary, but anyways, that's who am I. So
I'm gonna ask it to do the forecasting and see if that works.
Yeah, I mean, check it wouldn't hurt,
Maybe to your comment, it's going to be forecasting on the other side.
Amazing.
Okay, guys. Next question from Kwara Wong. Has Amazon specifically said that external traffic is something they're interested in? That's for you, Kfir.
Well, of course, they've been saying it. They've been saying it for many times, and the reference that I showed during my presentation came directly from Amazon. And Amazon is giving you the brand referral fee bonus. because they want you to drive external traffic to Amazon. So of course they've said it many times in many places, and they are looking to expand the traffic, the source of the traffic that they are bringing, you know, not only on Amazon. And this is one of the reasons that they are giving you back the bonus. So yeah, of course they are saying it a lot.
Okay, thanks for another question. That's from Jackson Nguyen. How many countries do you advise to go live with? I think that's for you. I can answer that, but I think that's for you, Stef, because I already said one is the easiest solution, so you don't get scared from Europe.
Well, the majority of our brands go live in 5 countries because the cost is pretty limited for additional countries. You're spreading your risk and your opportunity. And the majority of our brands are within 6 months actually already live in 9 countries. Do not go just in one country. I mean, it's the chance of failure is pretty high. Why? In case you choose, I'm going to go live for Germany or the UK, well, basically everybody does, and that doesn't work. Are you then motivated to go live in Poland or Sweden or Spain or any other country? No, you're not going to be there. You're unable to get any budgets. So better just to plan to go live. Like I said, diversify your risk and opportunity, and the chance you're going to be making money is much higher.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Another question from Angelo Garcia. How brands analytics can help in generating traffic and sales on Amazon? Who want to take the question?
Come again?
How brand analytics can help in generating traffic and sales on Amazon. That's from Angelo Garcia.
I feel like they're mixing 2 things there. I'm not sure how to answer that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, what specifically within brand analytics? So if you're talking, is it the search query report or just sort of the more brand level metrics around how many people are viewing sort of your listing versus add to carts versus competitors, that sort of stuff?
I don't know how that's going to drive more sales.
Yeah, that in of it's more of a diagnostic tool rather than
right.
driving sales, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, if you can provide more details, so our guys can help out. In the meantime, I'll go to the next question from Gabriel Santos. What are the benefits of driving external traffic to Amazon? I think you answered that, but obviously, actually, I can share that again.
I can briefly go through the benefits. So first of all, you're getting the brand referral fee bonus, which is 10% of your referral fee. Second, Amazon also already showed that you're ranking higher when you're generating external traffic to Amazon, and also promoting your items on Google Ads or social media, especially on Google, and also influencer marketing is cheaper way to promote your items than doing PPC, any kind of PPC on Amazon. These are the main benefits that you are doing, and it's quite significant.
Okay, sure. And we have 2 more questions when we're done. The next one is from Caleb Rodriguez. How regularly should I review my CLV?
So on the customer lifetime value, I would say it's probably on a quarterly basis. I guess maybe taking a step back, the customer lifetime value is what we would call kind of like an output metric, right? It's kind of the result of all the other things you're doing in your business to see whether you've been successful and on the right trajectory. So in terms of viewing an sort of an output metric, I would say probably a quarterly basis. But if you look at the input metrics, those 3 things that I was talking about earlier, getting more people to buy twice, trying to improve that purchase cadence, try to get them to buy within 90 or 120 days, and maybe even getting them to purchase different products that have higher margins. Those things, I would say, you would probably need to review the strategies on a excuse me, on a monthly basis. So if you're running remarketing campaigns, or you're doing other things, could be some I don't know, coupons or whatever it is, trying to get people to buy twice, that you probably want to be reviewing on a monthly basis, but the output metric on an actual lifetime value basis, I would say that's closer to quarterly.
Okay, thanks, Rael. And I think we have just one more question left. That's from Oliver Chang. What is the impact of optimize the listing with your tool? I think, John, that's for you. What is the impact of using your tool to optimize your listing? I think you mentioned that, but just to...
Yeah, look, I kind of briefly mentioned the theory behind that, right? Which is if you know, the listing at the end of the day is the heartbeat of your Amazon business, right? You obviously have to have a great product. You have to have good strategies, tactics, everything that everyone's talking about here is important. But if your listing is not well optimized and maximized for the biggest potential of relevant keywords, you know, you're leaving money on the table. So, you know, it's really critical that you find the right keywords. And that in itself is difficult, and a lot of tools can give you a lot of non-relevant terms. So finding the right keywords and then optimizing it for in the right way, so that when you convert on those terms, you get the maximum amount of juice into the algorithm is important, right? So you obviously have to well optimize it for the keywords, and then obviously make sure that it's written in a way that helps customers to connect and convert. So it's a critical piece, and it's funny because even sellers today don't do that correctly, and you can just see it in what people how they score on our tool, right? So you know, everything else that people focus on, if you've got to do the big building blocks correctly, and the listing is a really big one of that. So it is an important piece to do.
Okay, guys, just summarize on. This is your face. I mean, if the girl doesn't like it, they're not gonna go on a second date. So same with listing. If they don't buy it once, they're not gonna buy it a second time. So pimp your listing. Use ZonGuru tool, because you can see how many. I mean, what are the opportunities that you have in Europe? Because see the numbers that Stef mentioned earlier, that's crazy. I had no idea. I knew that a lot of sellers are not selling, but just think about that. 98% is 100 minus 2. So only 2% of your competitors are selling in Europe. So come on, guys. Summer is approaching. Come on vacation, come for expansion. And I think we're done with the webinar. We have a lot of giveaways. I'm going to mention them quickly, but, you know, we're going to receive an email with all the giveaways that we're doing, but quickly. Six VATs now if you want to expand in Europe. You know, from Attribution Insight, you're going to get 30% for wife off of your solution. We're going to send the coupon code. Also from Link My Books, which is the gold sponsor, you're going to get 10 different 50% off for 3 months for any of their plans for the first 10 people who claim that. The coupon is unsexy50. That's from our last webinar. ZonGuru is offering 20% off any plan for wife, whether you're like a product researcher or seller. You can get, you can claim that. You're going to send an email. Marketplace Distri, they're offering a free market research for the product launch in Europe, free receivable calculation for Europe, and you can actually start selling in 5 countries for the price of free. And then the last but not the least, Nozzle, they're going to give you a free 14-day trial and 50% off for the first month, and you can enter the coupon code HELLO50 at the checkout. Of course, we're going to have all that in the email, so you can choose whatever, you know, it's a good fit for you. But like I said, I mean, I learned some stuff today that I didn't know. I'm going to use it for my next webinars, because no, that's crazy, you know, what Stef mentioned. And thank you everybody for joining. It's, you know, it was a good webinar. Sexy, as we named it. It started sexy. We spoiled it a little bit with Stef, but if you look at Stef's presentation, it's actually very sexy. You know, all these numbers should look sexy to anybody who's not selling in Europe. So thank you again for joining the webinar, and we can see you guys in 1 month, or actually 1 month and 1 week, because next month is Prosper and everybody's in Prosper, and I'm not going to do a webinar during Prosper. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day for you, John, and have a good evening for everybody in Europe.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for organizing. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.